Hi. Again, you can always put these videos on 1.5 speed or 2 times speed if you want to watch them a little faster. No harm done at all. So here we go. I'm going to talk about partners seminars and what exactly that means and how that works. So basically, a quick visual of a partners seminar when it's actually happening are two circles, concentric circles, where you have one set on the inside, one set of students on the inside, and one set of students on the outside. Now, how this works, though, is you actually have partners, one seated in front of the other. So this might be one partner pair here. So you would have one partner talking or speaking, and another partner back here helping or assisting. Okay, they might be passing physical notes to the partner who is in the inner circle. All of the students in the inner circle are the ones who can talk. The ones who are on the outside are the ones who are helping, who are finding information for their partner, who are coming up with questions their partner could ask, or who are just coaching them and saying, hey, I think it would be great if you would take a moment to get in there. Now, okay, so we have a set of partners around the circle. They get to decide who talks and who helps, but that doesn't mean that that's the way that it stays forever. In fact, there are opportunities where the partners can decide, do we want to switch chairs? Okay, so it's the same deal where there's a focus question. There's a set of students talking. They are focusing on evidence as best as they can to support their thinking. They are asking questions. It's a student-centered discussion. Typically during one of these, I sit over here, okay? And sometimes I might interject with a question, or I might paraphrase another student's question if it seems like there's a lot of dead air and we've been waiting for a while. And so on, okay? But typically, I sit back here on purpose so that I can stay out of it. So you might wonder, well, what exactly are these partners working on? What are they looking at? So I've got this example for you. Now, this is a Socratic seminar that I did on the $20 bill. At the time, there was a discussion of Harriet Tubman being considered to be on the $20 bill to replace Andrew Jackson. Now, both of these figures have great significance in American history. Harriet Tubman, of course, is known for her work with the Underground Railroad and her own escape from being an enslaved person across to freedom, and then going back and taking a number of people across safely to freedom. Andrew Jackson, on the other hand, as a president, was rather notorious, had a reputation, and for having parties and the like in the White House, and then also was known for some of the terrible acts against Native Americans and against the movement of those peoples and relocation out west. So, $20 bill. But still, the students are the ones who get to make the decisions. So basically, they have a video to watch, and with their partner, they are working together on a single document. Okay, so the students get the document via Google Classroom. The one student shares it with their partner that they have either selected or that you've paired them with. Usually I allow them to select after giving them a little speech on, hey, make sure you select someone you feel comfortable with, who you feel is actually going to support you, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, and so then they work together to show their thinking in these boxes. And their question is, who deserves to be on American money, coins and bills, and what makes you think so? So what are some of the qualities, who deserves to be on American currency? That is our focus question. And then they go through and they've got a series of sources to look at. Now, I always suggest to partners that they both watch and read all sources and then talk together about what they might like to put. And I give them class time to work on this. But then also some do decide to divide and conquer to a degree, but then it is their responsibility to really fill their partner in. So that can be a little tricky. So I prefer the first method. So you can see that there's a whole bunch of things for them to investigate and to learn. So here there's information about Harriet Tubman, about Andrew Jackson. and then about the current situation. So I went and found some sources that were regarding this issue of Harriet Tubman and being considered to be on the 20. And then partners had to go ahead and find evidence for yes, it should, and no, it shouldn't, and here's why. So they had to find evidence from different perspectives. Then they had to generate some questions. I have a list here of questions that they can select a couple from if they like those, but then also they have to generate 3 of their own. Now, here's the key with this, is that when the actual seminar is going on, what I typically saw students doing was this. The student behind was typing notes to the partner who was in front. Both of them had their Chromebooks open. Now you can also go old school and have sticky notes and have them writing on a sticky note and passing it forward to their partner. Some students love to do that too. So it just depends on what you feel like would be best and maybe most engaging for your students. What was really cool about this though is that after students turned this in, I could see the whole correspondence of their private discussion. And then, of course, I also had my notes that I had been taking on what the speakers in the center had said. So it was a really cool thing. Anyway, so that is a basic gist of a partners seminar. Now, a couple other things that I'll share really quickly with you. One thing is that after posing the initial question, students will take turns posing questions and getting answers from within the group. Everybody has to be actively listening to each other. It's kind of the beauty of it. And they also have to be paying attention to their partner and their partner's thinking back and forth on their document or via sticky notes. Now, what I also like to do, though, is to have pauses. So I will pause after about maybe 10 minutes or so, 5 minutes, if there's a little bit of a lull, and say, okay, now partners, I want you to turn to each other and I want you to strategize. Helpers, what is it you are going to share with the talker to give them something great to add to this discussion? And then I'll give them a minute or two to discuss, debrief together. And then I might say, and also, if you would like to switch chairs, you may do so at this time. Let them shuffle if they want to, and then so be it, we continue. So, it's one of my favorite forms of seminar. If you have any questions, please reach out and ask, and I would be happy to answer any questions you have.